game number 2 in the T90 Community Cup between Pastor and Hose and Blood. And we are on Badlands. So this map, sparse trees on the outside, but you got your golds and stuff here on the outside, but wood and fish in the middle. So you are going to have to go to the middle to get secure wood primarily, but also the boost from fish. So a mill down here on the fish is very nice early on. And then you've got to keep on the outside as well, because, I mean, look at this gold. In this very small proximity, you've got about 12k gold. So you can sustain your whole economy, basically, or your economy's gold needs in one little location. Could be a target for a raid, potentially. I think it's an interesting map. I haven't seen this map. I think a lot of players ban this map because it is chaotic and unpredictable. But Path has gone for the Georgians. I like this pick because you have the mule cart. So you can just roll this bad boy out here immediately, and when the wood lines change, you can just take it somewhere else. It's a really good bonus to have. He is housed right now, which is unfortunate. Has to go into early loom. Not ideal. Hosen's gone for the way, and they're more of a booming civ because you get more. You get one free villager for each mill, lumber, and mining camp technology researched. So you want to, not go into early aggression. You want to focus into economy and upgrades early on. So let's see how he approaches this map. It's not arena. I think early aggression is needed in this map. Getting men-at-arms through here, followed up with an archer play potentially. Taking them out of the middle really sets you up for success long term. So a bit curious about the way pick, but if he can get away with it, he will be really nice. It will be really nice because the Haguan cavalry with extra hit points is going to be a nice counter, or something, a leveler, if you will, for the Georgians' mounted unit advantage, which is they heal a bit of hit points. So over time. So let's see, and haven't seen the Janbei Rider, which is like a cav archer in some capacity. Maybe we're going to see that here. But we have the house, we've got the lumber camp here for Hosen, so they've gone to the middle, both of them, which is a good sign. I think we're pushing deer. Yes, we are. I have to for this map. Both players need to push animals in this map because of all the food that you have here. There's a lot of hunt, which is, Mongols, absolutely killer on this map. Have to be banned if you're going to play this one. Can't remember if they were or not. But Hosen's going to stop the pushing for now. There is more to be pushed, but it's content with no more pushing at this moment. It's going to do a bit of scouting. Passer's going to do the same. He's off. There is still more to be pushed. They're going to scout the middle. But what I'm wondering, is somebody going to do a barracks as I look at this lumber camp? There's about 600 wood on these trees, and that camp costs 100 of that wood. You have a wood line down here. I guess you're kind of hedging your bets in a way. which, yeah, sure. Pastor housed again, and isn't immediately building that house. So he's going to be housed here for some time. Where is that house? Got a lot of homeless people right now. Where is the house? We need a house. Oh, I guess he doesn't realize it because he's gone up to feudal. I've seen this many, many times. That's really unfortunate. Barracks for both. The pastor's going to get a rude awakening when he hits feudal. Oh. Don't have a house. Build a house somewhere. I can't see exactly where. But yeah, both onto barracks. Pastor's going to build a spear opening. Is expecting the way to do early aggression with Cav. I wouldn't necessarily be expecting that. That's what you want to get to yourself as Pastor is again housed. So he's going to really benefit from the new patch where you get that sound when you're nearly housed. I think they're going to introduce a sound that alerts you when you're about to be housed, which would be good for Pastor. Also got spears here for hose, and I think this is more of a wise call because Georgians do typically like to go into early scouts, and that's what we're seeing. Yeah, I wouldn't have gone into any spears here until I saw some scouts on the side of Pastor. But he has scouted the stable. There are a lot of wild animals, lions in the middle, and these should become more dangerous again once the patch is out. Scout goes down. We have 4 scouts on the floor here, and we're thinking of a tower, so we're coming forward with a tower. I was saying men-at-arms with the archers to raid wood lions is good, but you know, towers are also very, very good. We could have a response tower, and it would go up much quicker on the side of Hosen. And is this in sight? This is not in sight. He has no idea that this is happening. He's thinking of building a mill over here, so villagers might be on the way. These villagers might be coming. That's going to be a rude shock. They're not going to be here in time. The Ting Ting boys get a few free hits on those scouts. And there we go. There's the tower. It's going to be walled in. Somewhat. Scouts go through. Decides to get rid of the walls. And go for villager kills. And maybe sticking with the walls might have been the best option. Because now we have all these units here. These villagers are now trapped. So that's not going to go well for Pastor. It looked pretty decent to begin with. I might have just decided to wall that. The villagers escape. Scouts on the way though. I'm not going to be able to resist any way puns. Every time it comes up, I'm just going to snicker and cringe at my lame humor. But those villagers are dead. So we're going to need to see a response here for Pastor, who is again housed. Some crazy management, or shall we say mismanagement of housing. An economy really centralized on this one location, apart from a couple of berries, some stone. So might be thinking of some more towers eventually. Skirm addition is really smart for the spears. And both have gone for that, so it's a combo of... This is all trash. You've got scouts, you've got skirms, you've got spears, which I just realized all start with F. But Pasta cleans up there. Gonna think of another tower, and he's gonna come forward with military. No upgrade on these scouts, so villagers are going to still do decent damage. And again, this tower might be in jeopardy. Yeah, this is not a guarantee to go up. Scouts going elsewhere to find damage. And leaves this tower hanging, really. But, you know, could be a good option here because scouts do come around. They should have just attacked those villagers. They're gonna find a spear. Spear's dead. More military being produced here, so this tower is going to be available. Scouts on the back. 2 villager kills there. Villagers can fight back, of course, they do. That scout goes down. This villager will go down, though. Tower being built once again. So Pasta really thriving here in the chaos. This has not been noticed, though. So villagers on these ostrich are going to go down and going to go down hard. This tower secures somewhat of a region, but economy relatively undisturbed here from Hosen despite that. Villagers going to attack scouts, which are still unupgraded for the Georgian player. Blacksmith on the back, market on the back, and all the while, you know, the military has been walking up this hill, taking villagers off these farms, actually, which is interesting. And skirms on the spears and other skirms is pretty good. Even an archer in here. But no more spears to deal with the scout. But tower's looking good. Spear and defense. Hosen still farming on the back. Hill bonus for Hosen, which is nice. And spear coming. So this is definitely all trash. I've only seen one archer produced thus far. But as soon as we get to Castle Age, I would be assuming that that's when the night play will start to unfold. These scouts dive, seem to get away with it actually, and come back to the hill. So it's come back to the hill time and time again. Spearman was critical there. This farm is gone. Tower in defense. Didn't see this tower go up. Which is gonna hem Hosen in here. Pretty sure those towers don't reach each other though. Yep, that's right. They're kind of able to see each other but not hit each other. Scouts on skirms. This is an ambitious tower. Because its unprotected villagers can rush it down very easily. Scouts are too far away. Has been noticed in villagers attack tower. I would have maybe put it up the hill a little bit. because that tower's definitely going to go down. Even if there's going to be villager losses in the process. A couple of villager losses. The tower does go up. And villagers are going to attack those villagers. But now what? That's a lot of dead villagers, and we're up to about a 10 villager lead here for Pasta. You don't necessarily have any secure wood at this point. And good targeting here from Pasta. Spear on the scouts, skirms on the spear. This has been incredible stuff by Pasta to put this pressure on and force this kind of response. Hosen's going to have to come back here for wood now. This tower goes up, so this wood line is now unassailable. All the while, again, like the last game, but on the opposite end, undisturbed eco here for Pasta. And it's things like this, you need like tiny little spaces for farms and stuff like that on this map. Evidently, you cannot farm next to your TC. That's a component of the map I didn't realize was a thing. But otherwise, you would farm there, wouldn't you? It actually makes a lot of sense. Of course, you can't farm on purely sand. You need a bit of soil in there. I'm a bit of a gardener myself, so I know that well. Skirms on archers here. So that's going to be rough. And they're isolated. Don't even need the scouts for this. They all go down. Pasta finally building houses in advance. So has learned his lesson on the housing front, it seems. Scouts clean up. Wood lines on the back here. Wood lines on the back here for Hosen. And, you know, he's going to target the villagers, but he could have just targeted the tower at this point. And he might do that after he gets this last villager here. Nothing's stopping him from just taking out the tower. And there's 5 villagers in there, and Hosen says that he's had enough. And if he didn't do that, he would have seen 16 seconds later that Pasta was in castle and would have called the GG there as well. So that was exciting. That was great. I've been dying to see a Badlands game, and that was a great one. And well executed from Pasta. Towers and trash. It was all skirms, spears, and scouts. Which puts the series at 1 apiece. And he's got a chance to claw it back from the 1-0 deficit. So good job. Good job there.